YouTube, it's Sarah. Today I wanted to review for you a great book. I've actually already finished the trilogy. The first book in this trilogy is Under Different Stars by Amy A. Bartol. I came across this book basically because of the author. I had stumbled across through Kindle Unlimited looking at the catalog of books available, Secondborn by Amy A. Bartol. Read it, loved it, went and read the second book for Secondborn. The third book doesn't come out until next year for that series trilogy. But I enjoyed both those books so much, I thought, hey, what else does this author have? And came across the Krikett trilogy. I understand it's a weird name. Krikett is actually the main character of these books, which is why it's called the Krikett trilogy. The idea behind these books sounded interesting enough. I picked up the first one and basically had a marathon of these books. I finished all three in 3 days, each one in 1 day each. They were so good. You're carried away. The story, as I already mentioned, follows Krikett. She's the main character. And we start off on Earth for maybe a few chapters, and then we are taken on a journey because Krikett is actually not of Earth. She is from Ethar. I hope I'm saying that right. I listened to the audiobook. You'd think these things would stick. No. And Ethar, okay, they didn't really explain it. The way they get there, I want to say it's like another dimension of sorts, but it's actually another location. It is not another Earth. On Ethar, there are priestesses that have various abilities. Being able to see the future, being able to have somebody believe a lie, being able to transport yourself and others to a shadow realm so that nobody around you can see you. Yeah, so Krikett happens to be one of these priestesses because her mother was a priestess, and any female offspring of a priestess is basically automatically a priestess herself. And so Krikett actually knows of one of her abilities while being on Earth. She can tell if you believe you are telling the truth. Why do I specify that it's you believe that you are telling the truth? Because she makes that specification in the book. The demonstration she gives in one part of the book, she has one member of the group they are in at the time turn around and tell the remaining members of the group that she is holding up 3 fingers, only to turn around and see that she was actually holding up 2. The point being, the person who had their back to Krikett believed her, had no reason to think that she would lie, and they believed they were telling the truth, so she read it as they were telling the truth. There is this popular and yet horrifying prophecy that actually relates to Krikett, that a priestess would help the basically houses of Ethar rise up and unite, except one of the houses would fall. There are 5 houses that remain on Ethar after they had a nice long war in years past. So of these 5, one of them will fall, leaving 4 to be united. It is basically this prophecy that surrounds her. So 2 groups are actually sent to retrieve Krikett and bring her back home once they figure out that she exists and has basically been hiding on Earth. These two groups are from two different houses. Each house basically wants her for themselves, hoping that they are not the house that is going to fall. Because they also know that Krikett, being a priestess, is going to be some benefit to them because she's going to have some powers. What powers she's going to have, they don't know. But they go after her anyways. Of these two groups, one of them right off the bat tells her a lie. Afraid of both of them because, hey, I've been on Earth my entire life. I was born and raised here. So she runs away from both, but eventually gets cornered by at least one of these groups. And in a sense, because she doesn't have a better option, she agrees to go with them only because this group has yet to lie to her. At least to what they know is a lie. She's not sure that what they are saying is going to actually be the truth when she reaches this Ethar place, because she's never heard of Ethar. She doesn't know what it is. But she goes with them because they at least believe they are telling her the truth, that they want nothing more than to bring her home. Basically, you can't help but cheer on these characters, especially Krikett. She is, you'd probably say she's a survivor. She feels out the situation and says just the right thing, does the right thing, or manages to hide that insecurity just right and hopefully gets away with it. Some of the situations she and the others around her find themselves in, ooh, it gets hairy. And you can't help but read to try and figure out yourself or see how they're going to get through. There is one instance that I don't think is going to be a spoiler, so I'm going to kind of talk about it. They make it to Ethar with this group, and they have been through hell trying to get there. And some other Etharians come up on them, but you do not want to make yourself known to this group. They cannot say exactly what they're doing, who they are, because, hello, priestess in the group. The others are going to want the priestess for themselves if they know who she is. So, they try and hide her identity, but at the same time are basically about to be taken captive. And Krikett basically does the opposite. You expect when a group of people come upon you with weapons that, you surrender. Arms up, you get on the ground, do whatever they ask. Not Krikett. She pretends that she has been on a honeymoon with basically the leader of this group, that they've been honeymooning in this area. They had this terrible event. Her pack got washed away and she's giving them the story and they fall for it. But how detailed this little ball of yarn gets is quite interesting. It would make quite an interesting sweater, this tail that she knits, I guess. So, yeah. At the same time, though, with these close calls, she's still trying to understand how Ethar works. They have technology that is like beyond what Earth has. And they have it now, today. This is not like science fiction. They have it now. Okay, the story is somewhat science fiction. But if it wasn't a story, they have the technology today. And so she has to figure out what these things do. And she has to learn quick. Otherwise, she'll be found out, and there are some close calls. Thankfully, she can take the hints from the group that has come to bring her to Ethar. This is a science fiction story, and it does have a bit of romance between Krikett and the captain of the group, Trey. And there is a bit of a love triangle, as the leader of that second group that came after Krikett on Earth wants Krikett for himself. Krikett wants nothing to do with the other one because he lied to her. She feels she can't trust him. So there is some battling of the boys trying to win over Krikett and convince her to go with them for their own reasons. I very much enjoyed this story, and like I said, I immediately had to pick up the second book, so I would definitely recommend you check out Under the Stars by Amy A. Bartol. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week with a new video. TTFN!